This program is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Glad to have you back. Top stories there in the world of business. Moving on now to look at the crude oil prices for today at the international market. It is on Wednesday morning as investors assess the outlook for US-Iran peace talks after US announced an extension in the ceasefire. A lot of controversies going on there in the Middle East. At the London market, the Brent crude is down 0.13% in the negative. Of course, 13 cents it lost, now trading at $98.35 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, it went down 1.87%, $1.86 it lost, trading at $97.74 per barrel of that commodity. Indeed, quite a whole lot there happening there in the energy markets. The controversy, the conflict going on in the Middle East is having impact on the crude oil prices at the international market, and this is affecting the domestic market as well. As you may be aware, whenever the price of crude oil goes up at the international market, Nigerians here tend to pay more at the pump price, as the case may be. While government is making more revenue, the citizens are paying more for PMS. The development that a lot of Nigerians have called on the federal government to devise a means to strike a balance between the two, so that when they are making more money, Nigeria should at least pay something less with regards to that. It's part of what we'll be discussing on the show this morning. Now, another topic that we'll also be looking at as well is the Dangote taking a step to go into crude oil production as well. That is also part of what we'll be looking at today. And of course, NNPCL also saying they have supplied over 1 billion barrels of oil to Dangote Refinery since inception. I mean, they actually break down the dates and the time where that deliveries were actually done. I'm being joined now in the studio by Professor Ken Ife, is an energy economist, chief economic strategist at Ecowas Commission. Good morning, Prof.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's look at the crude oil markets now. The Nigerians paying more for PMS when we are earning more revenue. How do we strike a balance to ensure that at least Nigerians benefit from the windfall that government gets from crude oil sales?
Well, there's just one-way traffic here if we want to obey the law. The law says prioritize local refining capacity. That's according to the laws. And they call it domestic crude obligation. And if we do that, at the moment, the Dangote is running 65 million barrels a day. Nigeria's consumption is 35 to 40. They can tell you it's 50. Yeah, the real one. But you do know that they're sending this through the borders. So the neighboring countries are getting it because our fuel is much more cheaper, 30% cheaper compared to Togo, Ghana, and then 70% cheaper when you head out to Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal. So but that's the problem for another day. But the fact of the matter, in the short run, the PIA provides that give that crude to local refining and then charge naira to crude. In other words, those portions that you are giving to be refined for local should be still at the market price in dollar, but converted to Nigerian naira. And there's no problem there because the exchange rate has been steady. So you're not actually losing. You might buy and sell at the same rate. Sometimes it's even cheaper for you to buy from black market than from central bank. So that is clear. But what we are having is, I know you're going to quote some figures of what NNPC has given to them. Everything that they have given is still less than 30% of the capacity what Dangote requires. Dangote requires 20 million liters a month, barrels a month, 700,000 barrels a day, and then that translates about 13 ships. But this capacity requires 20 shiploads. And then
19 actually, based on what NNPC quoted.
Well, 19, yeah. It depends on the size of the ship coming in. So, but then he's getting only 5, so we've increased it slightly
to 7.
And then 7 of what? 7 of 13 for local domestic, and then 7 of 19 for total capacity. And bear in mind that when he makes more money from exporting those refined products. So there is ground for cross subsidy, which he's subsidizing our economy. Because look at the price compared. Now the price has hiked. Today is $98 from $65, now $98. And then the price of the PMS has not gone as high. as the crude price has gone. But look at the confusion in the jet fuel. It's gone up 300%. And when you ask them why they point out to the importers and the marketers. So you just imagine where this country would have been.
Okay.
We would have been paying 3,000 naira per liter, and yet you won't have it with a long queue.
But NNPC is also saying that it's not down to Dangote alone, that they are also importing. According to the reports, they have imported 55.39 million barrels in January and February 2026. Yet the price of PMS is still at where it is.
Who is importing?
NNPC
and
other marketers for domestic consumption.
No, you're talking about it's barrel or liters.
Liters.
Yes. Now they're importing liters. I think we have one major challenge there. One major challenge is compare like to like. That law, that PIA law says you only import when you have certainty that there is deficit, local production deficit. The question is that we do not have local production deficit. And NNPC compounds this problem because of their interests. They are not in the midstream because all their midstream factories have shut down. They simply have retail units just are designed to simply import products and sell and then give to some of the marketers. So that is not the big, okay, even if you accept that they can get some, even when we have excess capacity, where is the test to verify the quality? They have not over these years built a standard laboratory that meets international standards, neither has NMDPRA. So we are still hostage to substandard goods quality. And which means two things. When you are dumping substandard products, you are injuring the health of our country. You're also destroying engines and all that stuff. And at the same time, there's predatory pricing. Because you cannot sell substandard goods at the price of premium goods. So that's why the president put 15% ad valorem tax to actually make sure that the landing cost equates to the recovery cost of our local refining. And that thing, I think, is still waiting to come into effect. So there are all these asymmetries are fueled by NNPC. But I think there will be light in the end of the tunnel.
Indeed. But the NNPC was also trying to address a complaint from Dangote Refinery that they have supply inadequacies. Based on the NNPC data, if you look at the breakdown, I say on the 5th of July, that they delivered 123,000 metric tons of crude. That is from Ayala. A vessel arrived on 5th and bettered on April 8th and sailed on 9th. This was also followed by Advantage Spring, which supplied 128,190. The breakdown is there quite long. They're actually trying to justify the fact that they have been supplying crude to Dangote Refinery, despite the complaint that they are not getting enough. Although it's understandable that they may not be able to meet up the 650,000 barrels per day supply to Dangote, given the fact that we are also supplying to OPEC and, of course, the other partners. As we also have the crude for sale loan that we have also taken as well. Do you think NNPC, as it were or as it is right now, is in a way justified by this figure that is quoting?
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Because if you look at the aggregate figures and the capacity over that same time period, is less than 30% of the requirement. And then you are producing 1.8 million barrels a day, and you are struggling to deliver 350,000 out of this. And then you have other constituencies.
But that 1.8 million barrels is OPEC quota. That is it.
Yes,
that's the quota that OPEC gave Nigeria.
We're close to that from our production volume. But the fact of that, we are doing at least twice more than the 650,000. And twice more is 1.3 million. We're doing far more than that. And you're having problem meeting that, not even giving them half of what they require. Because of the level of vested
we should cut the OPEC quota and, of course, divert it to Dangote Refinery.
Sorry?
Are you saying
first of all, OPEC, we have 455,000 barrels a day allowed for domestic consumption. Where is it?
Right.
Where is it? Can you not give that to them? Because you are not refining. You don't have any refining capacity anymore. Why don't you give even that one that it is the do for, and it is short of the commitments to our Flexing Bank commitment? It is reserved for local. Where is it? Each time they have meeting with the NNPC, they say, "Oh, forget about that. Forget about that."
Maybe by the time I know we've using some crude to take loan. Some of
no, but that's what I'm saying. Loan. If you discount the deal with Afrexim Bank, which is crude securitization of our future crude produce for 5 years, they discount that. It's still outside the 455,000 barrels allocated to NNPC for local domestic consumption.
Are you suggesting that there's a leakage somewhere?
It's not a leakage. It's just they're playing pranks. They don't want to come off with the truth. Each time they meet with Dangote people, they tell them, "Oh, forget that. It doesn't exist. Oh, forget that." What do you mean forget that? It doesn't exist. Anyway, these matters will come to a head because Dangote, I know initially he wasn't interested in going upstream, but it's too much. All right. It's just too much. Look at how much he's paying to third parties, $8 to $18 per barrel. Look at the cost of transportation. Look at what this guy is experiencing on transportation of crude from America, from everywhere, and then look at the insurance costs. And it has come to the point where he must go upstream. So vertical integration is now an option. It has to go upstream to secure his supply line.
All right, and he has taken that step already.
Yes.
They have announced that they are going to start crude production. Of course, this will make the refinery more independent since he can actually play at the upstream, like you said. But I also fear that he may eventually come to the downstream as well.
That is issue. We'll take it one at a time. The most critical, because he designed his refinery as is designed to take in crude from anywhere and everywhere, because it would be silly to design it purely for Nigerian crude, because he would have been in trouble. And then he has capacity to mix different kinds of crude, because all the list of things, the quality that they need from NNPC, they don't give them. They give them to marketers, and they give them the heavier ones, and they want less, and he still goes back to import those and then buy back at huge cost. So I think he has to exercise his right to enter the upstream to secure his supply chain. So that is the most critical, because he has market. He has market. He produces enough jet fuel that could solve Nigerian problem. But he's focusing, he has more customers on his door waiting to take jet fuel. But look at what's going on in jet fuel in Nigeria. 300% increase. Airlines trying to shut down. Ask them what's the problem. Marketers, if this guy is not giving PMS to this country, would have been paying 3,000 naira per liter, and then long queue, you wouldn't even find it. Because China is getting your crude and they ban the export of refined products. So what the hell? And they're all citing force majeure. So why wouldn't you plead force majeure if you think you are close to not meeting your obligation? As a temporary measure.
All right. Do you think the Dangote move to play in the upstream will in any way create stability in terms of crude supply to his refinery?
No, but that is the point. The point is this. In this Karaekule fields that he has acquired,
in the
and he has
Niger
85% in the Niger Delta, he has 85% interest in it, and then NNPC is a partner, and they've got a new company, West African production. So, and it's a good approach. Now, I reckon that in the immediate term, because they are reopening the wells, those were shut down 15 years ago. They are just gradually reopening the wells. From the ones that have reopened and carrying out the tests, they are showing that they can get 500 or 5,000 barrels a day. In the immediate term, it can rise to 40,000 barrels. But in the short medium term, you're going to get about 100,000 barrels. So at least that is more than what they're getting from NNPC. So, whatever they get from NNPC and whatever they're getting themselves, and I'm sure by the grace of God, they will acquire more wells. And because NNPC has locked down, they have so many wells in their possession. And don't forget also, when Obasanjo was here, Obasanjo tried to unlock over 100 marginal oil fields. And how many of them produced? Because this octopus called NNPC will not let them breed. They're the same thing with marginal refineries. They're not. They're all struggling. It's just because this octopus dinosaur, we have to remove it from the system. Government has no business with business. It's just a stopgap. that when we didn't have the capacity to build refineries, government used their money to build refineries. But once private sector come in, you retire to regulation. You make more money from private sector. They run the business. And
what about the existing government refinery, even though they are not working?
No,
Should we just discard them?
It's not that you can't afford to take more money, because every year we are spending $1 billion in fictitious refinery maintenance and turnaround, and never nothing. It was just a black hole. And then just as Buhari was about to leave, they brought 3 letters for him to sign. And then he said, but where are you going to borrow this 3.5? He said, don't worry. The man signed and left. And then they went and did that with Afrexim to securitize a good portion of the crude. And then where is the 3.5 billion? They're saying they spent 3 billion, but where is it? The refinery, they say it's working, it wasn't working. It was not producing condensate, it did it with naphtha. It never produced any liter of PMS. So why would we continue to send money down that drain? The thing is that when they won't have the capacity anymore to do that. And it's gradually unraveling the NNPC.
All right. Does it now confirm the fear of the marketers now? With Dangote now playing he's already in the upstream, he's in the midstream, and probably he's going to take over the downstream. Does it confirm the fear of the marketer that he is coming to dominate or monopolize the market?
I don't know why you call marketers. Why are you calling marketers? Is this country supposed to be a trader nation? This country should not be a trader nation. This country should be a producer and processing nation, so that you can create wealth and create. What job do you create from oil marketing? The jobs are where value is added. They bring it here. They just either hold them, manipulate the price, manipulate the import, look for subsidy. We don't get any job. The poverty is worsening. People can't afford those. See what's going on now. Our airlines are going to shut down. So I don't know why you call them. You should be talking about other investors in the oil field. Dangote has asked everybody to come in. Let's let Nigeria be a sovereign refining sovereignty, so that we can supply to the world. Somebody's group are putting $50 billion to Ondo to do refinery. Boa is doing 200,000 barrels. Some other guys in Lagos, and then refinery. So that is where you should be questioning. Forget this oil market. What are they marketing? Talk about other people that are investing their money in production and refining to create jobs in our country, and then not this mundane methodology or model of NNPC exporting raw material, exporting our jobs, bringing in poverty, and then that poverty is multiplied by the marketers who are importing refined products. And these refined products are adulterated, they don't meet any standard, and they're pouring it down the drain.
And there's no way.
So you're not comparing.
There's no way you think Dangote can work together with the marketers instead of
nobody
pushing them completely out of business.
See, look, Dangote has come to resolve the asymmetries in the fuel distribution, fuel storage, and then fuel supply, and then offered 10,000 trucks, CNG, to implement our decade of gas, and then say, look, doesn't matter, wherever you are, I'll bring the fuel to you so that you can sell. That is an offer. Those who still want to bring their truck, all right, no problem. You didn't ban any of them. Say, fine, you can, but I have made it easier for you to make more money. They didn't want it. They want it. You must give it to us.
Perhaps they see that maybe as a trap.
No, it's not. Why don't they together go and take over the NNPC refineries? Why don't they go and partner? Why don't bring the international players that are refined? Let them go and take it over. And let the unions that make noise go and do management buyout. Because they know what we all know. That the whole scheme is a scam. They know. And so there is something waiting for. And the thing is that the president has uncovered all that shenanigan and decided to put his policy in the right place. You have no choice than to deliver dividends to our country. Young people, 75% of them don't have they don't have jobs.
All right.
And you are still talking about exporting raw material. Crude is raw material. We have a law that the president is still waiting to assent to block any export of raw material without 30% value addition.
All right, Prof. there are Nigerians who, before now, think that when Dangote come on board, the price of fuel, as at the time Dangote came in, the price of fuel was around 500, 600 naira per liter. Some Nigerians who believe that when Dangote started producing, the price of fuel was going to go down, maybe to 200, 250, or even 300 naira per liter. Many of them, as we speak, are in a way disappointed. We have a refinery and we're paying so much. I understand your explanation earlier that if not for Dangote, we would have been paying about 3,000 naira per liter of fuel. But people like that, with that kind of knowledge and understanding, what can you tell them to convince them that this is the situation that we are facing?
But NNPC is importing fuel. You've just given me the figure that they were importing. And even before Farouk left office, I understand that they approved or were about to 7.5 billion liters of fuel. Why are they not bringing the price down, the one that are importing, the adulterated fuel? Because there's a market reality.
But it does seem,
the market reality is that this thing is based on the pricing, is based on the market, international market price of crude.
Prof, what we have seen in recent times,
started bringing these prices down, as you saw.
What we are seeing now is that Dangote is now becoming more like the key player, even bigger than NNPC, because when the price of PMS come down from Dangote, we see other marketers, even NNPC themselves, following whatever that Dangote is doing. That is what we've witnessed in recent times. Correct.
And you see how Dangote does it with rapidity. As soon as the price is changing, the following day he brings the price down. If he wasn't here, the one marketers, they don't care. The price can go up, their price, and it goes down, their price is still there. So they didn't know, and they complicate the supply chain. So the key to bringing down this price is sustainably is to resolve the asymmetries in the supply chain, in the storage capacity. Dangote has over 1 month of storage of fuel. And they cannot say to the country, remember last December I said, you go and have your Christmas, 1 month, I have enough supply for you sitting there. It's not to wait and then have queue and all that stuff. He has it, he has the capacity, you have storage, then you have the distribution chain, that's why he put 10,000 trucks. He's not making a penny from those trucks, it's just the infrastructure that he wants to resolve. These asymmetries in the distribution, the storage, and the production. So you just get to get it all sorted out so that prices can, the shocks that you have, and it will be resolved and prices can comfortably come down. But these guys don't want it. They don't want it because they want to hold the ace, all the cards.
So, Prof, as we wrap up now, maybe in 30 seconds, what do you think should be the way forward with regards to Dangote marketers' relationship?
No, he has always kept the door wide open for them to come and take fuel from me, and then let's work as group. But they want to have it at their own terms. And their own terms means to get out of any other form of distribution, deal only with us. It doesn't work like that. He cannot submit to that.
Many of them feel they should own the downstream.
No, only from where? Are you owning the refining of the product? Because they want to own it and then perpetuate import, which is the opposite of development.
All right.
So the future going forward, Dangote should continue to invest in upstream so that he can bring stability and resolve his own supply chain, and then Nigerians will get lasting benefit of this single asset that we have.
All right, thank you so much. Like you said, eventually he may even take over almost all the streams, maybe the up, the mid, and of course the downstream as well.
And when we get to that bridge,
given
we'll
the
cross
current
it.
trajectory that we are seeing.
When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. There's still an option. The marketers should go and take over the 4 dead refineries, and then
perhaps they can come together and build one.
Yeah, they could build one. They can co-locate one with it. They don't have to put modular there. Take but you still don't talk about other people investing in refining.
The likes of Boa, there we understand they're also investing. And once those come on board, we should see a lot of competition.
The capacities coming on board are going to be twice more crude than Nigeria can produce.
All right. Thank you so much,
let's see
Prof.
the bigger picture.
All right. Prof, thank you so much. We're totally out of time. Professor Ken Ife, Energy Economist, Chief Economic Strategist at Ecowas Commission. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, that is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akoum.
This program is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.